Hello friends, this is Hank McGurk here with an ambient glow radio. Very late in the evening for me, which would actually be the morning, 10:15, hence the special 10:15 episode today. And typically my thinking is done best. I know it's highly discouraged to do any thinking, but I have been doing some of it. In regards to the cheese combo. And what I mean by this is actually an analogy that has everything to do with a glitch. Now, this is, as regular ambient glow radio viewers would know, typically it's a show about matters philosophical, economic, environmental, historical, and today is no different. It's a little bit off the cuff because I'm a little bit disorganized, so I'm going to just bring it to you in the purest form. And what I mean by cheese combo is something that, well, one of my first jobs was working at an arcade, which was pretty cool. And I've always loved video games. But what we know is that there's a guy that comes in with something called a cheese combo. And it's basically the easiest to execute, repeatable super move that you can do that's basically unbeatable. Cheesy. While you technically win, you don't really gain a lot of spectators. And you especially don't gain any respect. Because you're taking advantage of a really simple, repeatable process. It doesn't require any creativity or expertise. The only person that's really respected is the person that discovered the cheese combo, and even they don't use it for very long because it's not at all impressive. It's like if you can't beat something, if you can't beat a game, you're not impressed by the challenge, or you're too impressed by the challenge, actually more accurately, more aptly, you will use this repeatable cheese technique to get your way through the game. In Fallout, we call it a caps glitch, or a exploit, or a bug. And while they're all technically legal because the code doesn't forbid it, it's just cheesy and low. And the only person that's respected is the person that actually figures out that, yeah, the bug is there. That's the only person in the entire spectrum of gaming that is appreciated for figuring it out, finding the bug, finding the glitch, finding the exploit, or the cheese combo. That's the smartest guy in the room. But he doesn't use it for long, because after that it's like, fuck it. Like, why am I gonna grab the fertilizer and the plastic to craft jet and run back and forth to settlements to get infinite amounts of caps, spending money for those uninitiated to the game of Fallout, when I can just pull the item code and backcraft a file, or what batchcraft. So we just, why not hack it at that point? Because why are we going to waste our lives running back and forth from settlement to settlement, selling freaking plastic, fertilizer, and drugs? Waste of time. We'd rather spend our lives doing something a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more productive than exploiting the glitch. That's why we write the bat files for them. So what is this analogy really getting down to? The market. The stock market, most specifically, and partially the real estate market. Well, actually fully the real estate market. The entire thing, the entire farcical that is the markets of today. Okay, so really, if there's a glitch in your game, in any system, and there always is, all you do is exploit it. So if you're foolish enough for 1 second to think that there's not an exploit in the market, there is. And when you turn it over to computers like algorithmic trading, what are you going to end up with? You're going to end up with a system that does nothing but make money. Now, the money that it's generating or making is essentially worthless because there was no expertise. There's nobody that's really impressed by this because it's the cheese combo. It's the exploit. It's the glitch. And while still technically legal, not denied by the code, it's the lowest form of worm. It's just low. And why, after all, you're going to go through that trouble of doing the exploit and playing the game? Why is everybody sitting around staring at their fucking screens, playing the stock market when they know it's not based in reality? It's based on these algorithms that are trading. It's just functional. Okay? It's really kind of simple stuff. It's a game. Okay? It's a game. And not even a particularly good one because it doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. It only creates money. When you task a machine to do something, it'll do it. But that's all it'll do. And I know this is blasphemy, but here's the dirty little secret. Business is not about making money. The game, whether it be Fallout or Street Fighter or whatever you might enjoy, Def Jam Vendetta being one of my favorites, it's not about getting to the end of the game or winning. It's about the challenge. It's about the experience, and it's about the joy that you have in playing. Otherwise, hack it, you know? Did you earn your 3/4 or, 750,000 wins like I did in Def Jam Vendetta against every opponent with every character that I could possibly fathom and imagine? Or did you just glitch your way? And if you did, at that point, why didn't you just, I don't know, type in that you had 750,000 wins? Where's your cred? Where's your rep? Where's your respect? And is that even a fun game? Hell no, it's not fun. So what are people going to do? They're going to quit playing. They're not going to play with you. You're a cheater. It sucks. No fun. It's not the point of the game. It's not the point of business. The point of business is not to make money. I mean, eventually you would like to make some profit because that is the objective of the game, but making money in of itself is no thing at all. I mean, we can program that stuff just to make it go forever. Got all the money in the world, as Manson would say. Got all the money in the damn world. Why am I going to run around like some teeny bopper? I run the underground, guy. Let's see if I'll pull that clip for you guys. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Just, daytime episode. We'll play around a little bit. I actually tried to cultivate these thoughts, and I did in some writing. And it's partly religious, but I thought that the gaming analogy was more apt. I mean, I guess let's just go through it piece by piece, and then we'll actually do a little price discovery today. We'll do a little bit of market research. We'll actually find out what things are worth, maybe. Because my particular gripe is that with the housing market, because that's actually denying economic freedom and property rights to my entire generation, which is, if you look at the misery index, I kind of just went out and put feelers out there. I was like, all right, well, how many people really are fucking just, they hate it? Are they miserable? Like, 4 out of 5 is probably a very conservative estimate. Okay. So, all right, let's Manson, it's a game, guy. All right.
He come to me with money in his hand. He offered me. I didn't ask him. I wasn't knocking someone's door down. I was running from that. When I got out, I was in that. I was already through that. I had that. I had the studio. I went to the studio. I went to Vox Studios. I had it all. And I looked at it and I said, this is a bigger jail than I just got out of. I don't want to take my time going to work. I got a motorcycle and a sleeping bag and 10 or 15 girls. What the hell I want to go off and go to work for? Work for what? Money? I got all the money in the world. I'm the king, man. I run the underworld, guy. I decide who does what and where they do it at. When am I going to run around and act like I'm some teeny bopper somewhere for somebody else's money? I make the money, man. I roll the nickels. The game is mine.
So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of thing. It's a perspective, a way of looking at the life. But exploiting the other, let's just get to some of the writing here so I can be a little bit more succinct. Exploiting the ignorance of another in order to profit, a la rip him off. And I know it's blasphemy in the current religion of the Antichrist that the current system seems to be in, the all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar to try and dominate the world through paper money. And, you know, whether it be the Quran or the Bible, Jesus, you know, kicked over the tables, the money lenders. I mean, it's strictly forbidden. They call it riba, I think, or riba, something. I'm not Islamic. I don't know Islam probably as well as I should learn it if I was to become someone that was a little bit more educated in eschatology. But I think they call it riba, something like that. It's tantamount, I suppose, to the Christian version of a sin, to loan money at interest. I mean, not in the Bible nor in the Quran, as far as I know, is it forbidden to do business. What's forbidden is to charge money at interest, and there's no risk in it, because basically you have somebody by the sack when you say, well, I'm going to take your property. If you don't pay me, I'm going to take your property. So you have nothing and they have no risk, and they can charge you whatever they want. And it's basically the opposite, specifically, precisely, with precision, absolute precision, the opposite of charity. So it is Antichrist. It is Dajjal. I think is what the Islamic word is for Dajjal, Antichrist. The antithesis of what is Christ, what is charity, is to give and to expect nothing in return. Money lending and interest is to loan and expect to take more. Precisely the opposite of the Christ value, of the natural order of things. You know, specifically a sin. Okay. So that's a little bit of an eschatological aspect of it, which I thoroughly enjoy, because it's all there. You know, religious principles, they're wonderful through and through. As opposed to maybe take a slight divergence, the way I see it is there's really 4 ways. There's the Antichrist way, which is, and not yet fully manifest in this world, Gog and Magog. Okay, that's your Republican, Democrat. That's your left-right paradigms. That's your, you know, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives don't matter. So lives matter, they don't matter. like the Pope and Islam and some unholy alliance because the religious leaders got together and said unity is good. So one world religion, either unity is good or unity is bad. Like, there's no heads I win, tails you lose. Gog, Magog. You got to have third way, fourth way. Third way and fourth way out of the system, out of the matrix, out of the hellscape, Antichrist, beast system bullcrap, to actually like get in, enjoy life, and discard the bullcrap as they try and basically sell your soul to Satan, whether they know it or not. Antichrist manifest these evil things. And look in the sky. If you needed if you needed even more proof to push you over the edge, go ahead and look at the sky. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. Signs are in the heavens. So the third and the fourth way. What's the third way? The third way is Jesus Christ. Because, well, you can get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness for being such a screw up. Because you have to be able to recognize that the ultimate sacrifice was made. The perfect man, the Son of God, is willing to go to the cross, nailed to the cross, and pray for the people that nailed him to it as they do it. So appreciating that level of sacrifice and knowing, hey, maybe I don't have to do that. I hope I don't have to get nailed to a cross and still be able to pray for my enemies and love my enemies. Please forgive me for the weaknesses that I have. Please don't take me that far. Please forgive me for my sins through Jesus' sacrifice, because he showed us the way, so we can take out a little time to do the things that are right. Fully bathed in the blood of Christ, so we pray for forgiveness. Please forgive us. We are screw-ups. Or, fourth way, is absolute obedience to the Word of God. This would be, I think, the Islamic tradition. You will obey, submit, obey, and remember that you are born a Muslim and you just forgot. And obey God. Otherwise, you're going to be judged. So you can be free, beg for forgiveness, or be in absolute obedience. And we should all strive to be in obedience. And we should all know what these principles are. It's your cultural heritage. It's your foundational principles. It's the things that build your society when things were socially engineered well. When the people weren't, well, I mean, they're always taken advantage of. But see, these kind of things keep people from getting too taken advantage of. In any kind of hierarchical structure, people that want power have to make some sort of compromise as they go to get it. Some kind of principle within themselves that they have to compromise. So the Messiah and the prophets, they are uncompromising. But see, they don't seek power. So they're not corrupt. So that's the message that you follow, not the ones that are powerful. You follow the words and the principles that set you free, that give you the truth. You can find that in your heart. The criticism, when it comes to criticisms of one religion or another, when you can sit and bark like a yapping dog against the side of an elephant about this one's right, this one's right. Gog, Magog. There you go, Antichrist, bam, gotcha. Fooled. What does Christ do? Christ tells you the truth. What does the Antichrist do? Tells you lies. What's your way out? Pray for discernment. Ask for forgiveness. And then you'll say, well, maybe I won't be deceived. I won't choose Gog or Magog. Third way. So, look out, because that's the job. Christ tells you truth. Antichrist tells you lies. You have to decide, discern, and choose because you have free will. That's the truth. You have free will. See, the angels, we're going to take this wherever it goes. The angels have no free will. They must obey God. They have no choice. Unless, like Lucifer, they disobey God. You're cast out. Then he's always pissed off because, well, Christ is the Son of God. Lucifer, the most favored angel. Lucifer exercised that free will. Bam, out, pissed off because of it. The liar, the deceiver, follow me. You won't have to get nailed to the cross. You just do all these things. I'll grant you all this worldly power, and yet you carry along with it spiritually all that gunk from doing all the things that you should not do, and that you should pray for forgiveness if you have done them, and don't willingly enter those evil contracts. Because he so that diggeth the pit, he so that rolleth the stone shall fall in, or it comes back on him, something like that. I'm no eschatologist. I'm no religious scholar or expert. I just, from time to time, think and read. Probably because they tell you not to. All right, so we'll get back to exploiting the bugs in the system, I guess. Rip them off. Program all the money in the world. In Fallout, other games, caps glitch, exploit, perfectly legal in all respects, but not forbidden, even though it really is or was. See, you can have no good law, you can have no good philosophy, you can have no good system that is not based at first on the recognition of the creator of God. Because then, what do you have to do? You have to try and please the grand creator, the creator that creates all things, the Most High God, and try and create something that would please the creator. So all things that have no basis in that are going to be illusory, hollow. I'm of the opinion you could almost find any system that would work if it was in accordance with what was natural, what was good, and what was in accordance with God's law. Very simple. Very simple. So, the only one with any skill in the arcade, or the only people that we like to follow in any system, are the people that have our respect. How do you get respect? You don't get respect from the cheese combo. You get respect by competition. Toughest, strongest, the best. Not the best at everything necessarily. You could have a game that you're the best of the best at. The one that challenges himself, excels. That's where the respect is. That's what a system is supposed to be about. That's what business is supposed to be about. You know, going out there, putting the risk up because you're putting your time up, putting your money where your mouth is, and you're working. So you're giving your life. You're risking your life, and in some instances, like when I worked at the Bronze Forge, you're literally risking your life. Or when I was in geotechnical inspections and I was going through deep trenches which could collapse on either side of it to make sure the compactions were correct deep in the trench, 15, 20 feet underground. If it falls on you, you're buried alive, and that's a shitty way to die. Risk. Okay, so you're literally, a lot of guys out here literally are putting their lives on lives on the line every day, working very hard. Okay. Yeah. Veterinary technician, veterinarian. Okay. got to go out there, putting that work in every day. They get friggin' mauled by the animal that they're trying to treat, putting their lives on the line. You could be bit by a rabid animal, an unknown disease, the doctor working down at the hospital. Everybody puts it on the line. Okay? So that's where the respect is. And I've worked in kitchens and served tables. Okay? We respect that guy that's back there that can do it faster and better than anybody else. And it makes us a little irritated that he can't get the extra 15 cents more, the 20 cents more, or whatever. Because that guy is putting out work. The whole thing shuts down without him. Okay? So you got the market glitch where you're producing nothing. You're running from settlement to settlement in some instances with fertilizer and plastic selling jet or drugs. I think that has been pretty observable in recent history, has it not? With very specific examples that would come from cities like, Sugar Land, Texas, or Mena, Arkansas, just to name two. Glitch in this system, taking advantage, then turning around and loaning it back to you at interest. Silly. Now, nobody likes to follow this super move. Okay, I've got all the money, I've got all the power, and all these people are going to listen to me, and we're going to back it up with the force of a gun. We're going to back it up with force. Yeah, we own it. We own it. Okay. No, nobody bodyguards the cheese combo dickhead that has no respect. Okay, playing a funny, fucked up, excuse my language, bullcrap, rigged game. This is not real, guy. Okay. Gotta have respect. That's about. So, technically, you're winning. But what are you winning? Okay. I've got the bigger McMansion. My wife is not too pissed at me. I'm driving a Ferrari. Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but Timex tells time as well as a Rolex. Okay. A cross writes as well as a Bic. All right. So, please, there's very little distinction between the attorney that lives 6 blocks from the unemployed, one being white, one being black. I'm going to let you guess which is which. When you shut the power off and you look in their pantries, that's real. That's real. That's the truth. There's not any difference between you and somebody else, no matter how much you think you have. And if you hold on to it, they're likely to grab a hold of you and say, that's a hoarder. Get him. The only way around it, only way around Gog and Magog, violence and argument about this or that, beg for forgiveness and try and do the right thing every single day, or act in absolute strict accordance and obeyance of God's law. All right. So eventually, everybody kind of likes that impressive competition. That's what really impresses people. That's what Make America Great really should be about. Competition. No money lending, no bills of sale, no credit. Credit's silly. What you need is, and I've talked about this before in the energies of financial engineering, you need something called economic inductance, because we've got capital. So we need to be able to actually move that capital through the system. And by capital, I mean we've got citizens that are working as hard as possible, or they're unemployed because they can't find something, or they just don't want to participate in a friggin' scam. Because it's like they're work and work and work and work, and then some bubble-headed girl from the leasing office says the rent's going up because that's what market value says it is. Let me show you. Let me just give you an example of how absurd this is. Market value. They're communists and they don't even know it. It's the sad part. They don't even freaking recognize. See, communism is not, communal living is not communism. Some people say, oh, well, look at all the preppers, you know. Aren't they communists because they want to make sure that their community thrives? Aren't they communists? No, they're not communists. They're in communal living. They want to see their community thrive. The difference is the state doesn't own everything. When the state owns everything, you have something called either a form of socialism called fascism, where corporations own everything, or you have communism, which is not communal living, which is not pleasant. It's where the state owns everything. So, you know, the prepper says, this bedroll's mine, that one's yours. I want to see you get up in the morning, so I'm going to share my rice because you can nail up the board and maybe we can get some framework for some better beds in here. That's more of a capitalistic mindset. I give, you give. I'm free, you're free. Economic freedom is freedom without economic freedom. There can be no freedom. So, not communism. State communism, on the other hand, state owns everything. So, that's the state's bed. You're going to sleep there. Or, if you don't like it, you're going to sleep on that bed in Siberia or Alaska or wherever in the fuck we tell you to, because we own it. Not you, not anybody, just the state. See the difference? All right, let me give you an example. What I'm talking about, this ridiculous quote unquote market value bullshit that I hear all the time. Really disgusting stuff. All right, what you're looking at here is Zillow, kind of in my area, right? Look at the price of these things. And the inventory that's sitting open, okay? In a capitalist system, if people don't have money, all right, and inventory doesn't move, okay, the price goes down, not up, down. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. That's capitalism. So how is it that we can have a $975,000 house? How is that possible? Right next to another one they want almost $1 million for. Right next to another one they want almost $1 million for. $1 million for 5 bedrooms, 5 bathroom. Come on now. Nobody's that fucking stupid. I mean, I know people are pretty dumb, but not that dumb. Oh, and they hate it because I ask them to. In case you didn't know already, I ask them and they hate it because it doesn't make sense. It sucks. Because all this time, all this shit's open, the communities rot from the inside out. When we have to waste our lives talking about shit like this, when we could actually build, you know, greenhouses or, you know, be building, you know, doing capital improvements to our houses. Look at this nonsense. And let's zoom out. Let's see how absurd it really gets. What is the absurdity of it all? Oh my gosh, it's like a I don't know. It's I was gonna say a pimple, but this is worse than, you know, acne on the most cheese-faced bastard that's ever lived. Wow. Wow. It's just Florida. Look at that shit. Unreal. And as you zoom in, it only gets worse. I mean, not a block. Not a freaking block. Look at that. Not even one square friggin' city block. 250,000, 1.7 million. Really? Market price, and my rent went up? Fucking stupid do you think I am? We are. Anybody is. All right. What is going on? We're just waiting for an explanation because we hope that it's a good one. Because I can't think of anybody that can come up with something that can explain this one. They talk about 1930s being a Great Depression. Guys, we're in it. We're in the Great Depression because these assholes keep letting the algorithms run a broken system that died in 2008. They just didn't see it coming. So I got late breaking news for you folks. The shit that you're holding is fucking worthless. Okay? It doesn't buy anything real. There's no valuation. There's no expectation. It's just the glitch. It's just a bug running back and forth. So they'll tell you, oh, socialism, that's the key. No, socialism, fascism got you here. Communism, the state says, oh, we own all this shit. We'll let you live in it if you do what we say. Well, no, how about we just use a little common sense in something called market value or valuation. Let me get a little deeper here. Let's just do some basic back of the freaking napkin arithmetic here. All right. We'll just take a couple of general principles. I'll let you guys do the math because I don't feel like doing it. I'm just going to point out that it can be done to figure out what things are worth. Okay. But just take the average time of all the workers combined that it would take to complete a house and the time it would take to complete a house. Simple arithmetic. Add in there a brand new floor plan and not even one of these cookie cutter things. So let's go ahead and throw in an architect. Let's add his fee on top of that. So, and then let's add in the workers. Let's add in some safety inspectors. Hell, we'll even add in a little bit of stuff for bureaucracy. I don't mind, you know, we'll throw in a little bit to make sure that the roads are inspected and that there's enough sanitation sewer line running and that there's enough pressure and the water's safe to drink and all that stuff. So we can do that too. And then we'll take the yards of concrete used to complete the structure, or brick, or, you know, brick and mortar, brick stone to build your average, you know, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Okay. And then add in the lumber, the wood, the brackets, the nails. You know, you don't have to be an expert in construction. Just go to Lowe's and kind of take a look around, think, and then do some back of the napkin math. Tile, PVC, you know, and then go ahead and pay every guy on the site $50 an hour. That's pretty friggin' liberal. I think $30 an hour is pretty liberal to pay everybody on the site because everybody's getting ripped off in the construction business. Been there, done that, know what it is. Couple of coats of paint. Last time I checked, a couple of coats of paint was worth $80,000. No, not really. Not really. So just grab some of these statistics. Do the back of the napkin math. And then you can even do bonus things. Special bonus, special credit, extra credit. Factor in a little, you know, a general accounting practice or GAAP practice, depreciation on the material if the house has been sitting there for a while. subtract the liens, the taxes, factor in how much you make, take it about 1/3 of your income would be something appropriate to spend on housing. And there you go. I mean, you can factor in depreciation. Price doesn't go up, it goes down. And here's another little dirty secret. There's only, what, 150 million people or something in this country? I don't know. How many people are in the United States of America? Let's look it up real quick. All right. Number of people in America. 325 million. Roughly, let's call it 326 million. Okay. Let's see the number of people in China. 1.386 billion. So you cannot tell me that every single man, woman, and child in the United States of America is not worth something. Because they are. Every single one of them could be tasked to doing something decent and useful and productive. I don't care if it was to sit there probably and sand a board, a skateboard. What do you think they've got, like oak trees and cherry trees and stuff all over the world like we do here in America? No, they don't have the same stuff we do. So we could make furniture. We could bring back that brand that is American quality. The made in America sort of thing, no matter how much time it took, it would be perfect. So every man, woman, and child in this country is important. Every one of them has a role. Every one of them has a place to be. Every one of them has something to do. They do. We do. And it's a sorry, sorry state of affairs when the Chinese have 1.386 billion people and can feed them. And yet here in the United States, we can't feed them. We can't seem to get it together to do housing in a way that makes sense. Okay? They've got high-speed, maglev, place-to-place rail systems where you get off of work. Like if I lived in Tampa and I wanted to see somebody in Orlando, I could get off work and I'd be over there in 45 minutes. They can go like that through the whole of China. And they're telling us that people in America, we're not worth anything. We're too dumb. We're too dumbed down. We're too not educated. I am so sick of people pissing on millennials when we are so absolutely, vitally critical to this country's success. So some old codger bastard that wants to sit up there in Congress and pontificate to us about how they're such a great generation, when if you look at the demographics, they're shrinking. We are carrying the load in triplicate. And the only way they can make that shit work so they can keep buying all the things they want to buy and fund all the wars they need to fight and piss all over everybody that we, the rest of us, would like to do business with. You would think that they wouldn't piss on the Venezuelans. I would actually kind of like to build furniture and trade it for gold or oil. No, we need sanctions. Now, I know I'm ranting, but the point here is the market glitch exploit. Nobody appreciates the cheese combo. The point of business is not to make money. The point of business is to have a good, fun, challenging, fair game. I mean, you could cheat in poker if you really wanted to. I wouldn't suggest it. You know, why not? Because if they catch you doing it, they're going to break your arms or shoot you in the head and drop you over the side of a boat, and nobody is going to care. Because they want to play a game. They want to put in the risk. They want to put in the hours. That's what it's about. Fair, honest days work, honest days pay. Simple stuff. We don't need the government to redistribute all the wealth and this stuff. That's not going to work. And I think that we're probably headed right straight for the slam wall of the Weimar Republic when they just, everybody finally all of a sudden understands that, oh my gosh, it's not worth anything. We got to do something else. And so you don't freak out and that you have a little bit of something to go ahead with. People use all kind of different things for money. All right, gold, silver. Farmers, what they would do is they would just basically write a bill, you know, of here you go. That's actually what the futures market started on. In Chicago, they take real goods, farmers, and it basically was about offsetting risk initially. That's what those are about. You know, you think you're going to have a bumper crop of oranges, and there's going to be a lot coming in this year, but you still need, you know, pay your guys. You still need fertilizer. You still need to kind of move your tractor around and have your pickers and every other thing that comes along with it. So you might be a little illiquid going into the season. So you need a little money, whatever. And that's where the speculators would come in. People that had a little extra. Now, I don't believe any of that is good. I don't believe in money lending. I believe in cash only, but I understand that we live in a system that has, you know, a credit-based component that will freeze. So just understand that there are all different sorts of method to keep your credit from unfreezing. You can even do things like issue municipal bonds. What I would do is just say, all right, we're going to start putting people in houses. I mean, solutions are there. They're very simple, but they're local. So instead of choosing Gog or Magog, you know, the system's short-circuiting, so we're going to go to war with the entire world, or we're going to flip out and riot and shoot each other in the street because we can't figure out what to do without the all-seeing eye on the back of the pyramid, or we beg for forgiveness because we got away from it, from God's law, and even our Constitution. Our Constitution forbids all this stuff. Okay, it really does. All right. Rule number 1 is no censorship, basically. And we've seen how well that's gone recently. Breaking rule number 1. Wow. All right. Not to mention 4, 10, 9. Okay. Those are ones you could look up yourself, but they're pretty simple. And if you really want to know what they're about, instead of looking at the rubber stamp of the Supreme Court, just look at the opinions written by the forefathers. They're all there. They'll explain it to you very well and very explicitly, precisely what they meant. So there can be no real confusion about it and understand why they did it. Okay. So the solution is not going to be, oh yeah, we're going to run out and start, you know, killing each other in the streets, blah, blah, blah. No. And it's not the black man versus the white man or the Christian versus the Muslim or Gog or Magog. No, it's like, well, we screwed up. We asked for forgiveness. And now we're going to try and get it back on track. And with goodwill and with charity, we're going to progress forward. We're going to work on the things that we all agree on and not worry about the things that we disagree about. And we're going to have economic freedom. The state's not going to own everything in the backside of this collapse. We don't sign it over to some, you know, kleptocratic, faceless, you know, chip everybody, algorithmic, friggin' cryptocurrency. I mean, literally listen to the terminology. Blockchain. chain you to a block, slavery, okay? Or maybe a mortgage, a death gauge. Go ahead, take one of those. It'll only take you 30 years of your life to pay off a little brick and mortar. And you know what anybody in Amish country gets a couple of his friends, his family around to build in an afternoon. All right. So I may have drifted from the point, or I may have gotten right to it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's been Hank. Catch you on the flip side.